So, a summary of Taoism. Okay, so for those of you that are unfamiliar, you may have seen the yin and yang somewhere. You know, the balance of life stems from Taoism, but it's also spelled as Taoism. And it is a philosophical and religious tradition that originated in ancient China. It's an Eastern belief, and it emphasizes harmony with the Tao, also written as Dao, and often translated as the way of life, the way to a better path. And it is deeply intertwined with Chinese culture and has influenced philosophy, religion, medicine, governance for over 2 millennia. So very age-old tradition. Now, Taoism, more than anything else, it focuses on simplicity, spontaneity, and balance, offering a path to spiritual insight and inner peace, understanding oneself and acting accordingly, and just having this level of balance in your life, which ensures harmony. Very beautiful religion. It is an Eastern philosophy. It's become a lot more popular in Western media, but obviously not as central as the big monotheistic religions in the world. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the series. Just a quick summary, a quick introduction of Taoism. See you in the next one. So, origins and historical context. So, Taoism, it developed during the Zhou dynasty. Okay, so this was for around 800 years before the Common Era, and it became formalized during the Eastern Han dynasty. And its foundational texts, the Tao Te Ching by Laozi, known as Lao Tzu, and the Zhuangzi by Zhuangzi, these are central to its philosophy. So these are the two main texts, the Tao Te Ching and the Zhuangzi. This is where the belief system originated, ideas of balance, spiritual insight. Now, early Taoism, it emerged alongside Confucianism as a response to social and political disorder that plagued the East, well, the Far East, and offering a contrasting vision focused on retreat from societal conventions into natural harmony. So just understanding that these societal norms that we have as human beings have created can be quite destructive to us as human beings. And the natural order of the world is through natural harmony. I mean, look at what we've created now. TikTok and Instagram and Facebook Reels and all this nonsense that have caused brain rot. Societal conventions, they're not particularly here to give us a better life or anything like that. I mean, with processed food, GMOs, this is all because of mass productions. These big companies that are embedded in these capitalist systems, they don't want us to live these healthy, fruitful lives. It's not really because of that. It's because, well, there's more profits in mass food production. There's more profits in ad revenue on social media. It's all about money, money, money. And so these societal contraventions are actually working to our detriment. Now, over time, Taoism, it evolved into a religion and incorporated rituals, deities, and alchemical practices, particularly during the Han Dynasty and later periods. Sorry, I know I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but that is a more modern interpretation of Taoism and this idea of a retreat from societal conventions, you know, social media detoxes and all of that. Okay, that is not new. Taoism has been discussing that for millennia. Okay, very, very beautiful religion here. And look, the Han Dynasty, it cemented Taoism as a belief system. It developed during the Zhou Dynasty, and then later, the Han Dynasty, that's when it was formalized. So we've got some core beliefs here. So the Tao, this is the ultimate, ineffable principle underlying all existence. Now, it is the source of creation and the force that flows through all life and the natural order of the universe. It's formless. The Tao Te Ching, this describes the Tao as formless, eternal, and beyond comprehension, yet it is present in all things. To draw a comparison here, it is like Brahma or Brahman in Hinduism. The Wu Wei, this says non-action. Now, this is central to Taoist philosophy. Wu Wei, it refers to this idea of effortless action or aligning one's action with the natural flow of the Tao. You know, be like water, my friend. And it encourages spontaneity and avoiding unnecessary struggle, advocating that living in harmony with the world rather than attempting to control it. I love that because the world that we've created right now is awful. All these systems work against us. But just to drift away from, all these societal and economic conventions and norms, what we've done to the environment in terms of climate change has been absolutely awful. We should not be working against the sea, the bottom of the ocean, land, mines, mountains, whatever. We should not be destroying the earth in pursuit of minerals. We should not be polluting in the ocean. We should not be working against the world to rid it, to take all of its natural resources. We should be working with it in a way that promotes conservation. Remember, these are not new principles. Environmental conservation and natural harmony, living with nature, this is not new. Taoism has been discussing it for millennia. It's the second time I'm saying it in this series. Now, Wu Wei and the Tao, these are absolutely core beliefs. And then we get to the yin and yang. I'm sure you guys have heard of this. Okay, a lot of like Western hippies love to get this, tattooed on their body, like the circle with the white and the black. And, you know what I mean. It's all about balance, the masculine, the feminine, the light, the dark, the active, the passive, and so on and so on. And these are the complementary forces of nature that represent dualities. Now, Taoism, it teaches that balance between these forces leads to harmony. It's all about balance, everything in moderation, even moderation in moderation, if you know what I mean. Now, in terms of immortality and longevity, Taoism places significant emphasis on health and longevity, viewing the human body as a microcosm of the universe. It's all about health. You are what you eat. Whatever you consume is a reflection of who you are. And Taoism places immense significance on your own personal health. I love that. Practices like meditation, breath control, and diet aim to harmonize the body's energy with the Tao. Meditation, breath control, taking deep, slow breaths, feeling the air in your lungs, as well as your body's energy. On social media, we call this nonsense aura. Okay? What a nonsensical way to go about, such a beautiful term. Or aura, he's got like 1,000+ aura right now. No, man, no. Nah, I'm just joking. I'm hating on the youth. I'm hating on Gen Z and all of you guys. 1,000% aura. Look, this is where it all stems from. Your body's energy. You are a reflection of your own thoughts, your own being. But yeah, it's extremely, extremely beautiful. Look, don't come for me in the comments. I didn't call any of this nonsense, but what we do on social media, ridiculous. Don't cancel me. Okay, and this leads to spiritual and even physical immortality. Okay, I love that. This idea of immortality and longevity, living long and healthy lives. So texts and teachings, we've got the Tao Te Ching and the Zhuangzi. These are the two key texts in Taoism. And the Tao Te Ching, this is attributed to Lao Zi. And this text is a poetic exploration of the Tao and Wu Wei. And it emphasizes simplicity, humility, and alignment with the natural world, the natural order. Look, I'm not going to go on a tangent again about how we've completely destroyed this world and how all these societal conventions like social media and processed foods are affecting our life. I've done that so many times already in this series, but you guys get it now. Align yourself with the natural world. Be good, do good, and stop hurting the environment. Okay? Save the environment. Zhuangzi, this is written by Zhuangzi, ancient philosopher. And this text is more anecdotal and it's a bit humorous, exploring the relativity of human perspectives and the futility of rigid distinctions. Let everything flow. Be like water, my friend. So these are the two key texts and teachings, the Tao Te Ching and the Zhuangzi. My religion studies students, you need to have a good understanding of these two. And look, these later texts, this is not in your textbook, but I just thought this would be a bit interesting to look at. So religious Taoism, it developed a rich body of scriptures, including the Daozang, this is Taoist canon, containing texts on rituals, meditation, alchemy, and cosmology. So again, centering on this idea of blending with nature, but not just that, a more modernistic approach to the religion in terms of rituals as well as meditation. Okay, breath control, mind control to achieve some level of spiritual enlightenment. So some practices in Taoism. So meditation and internal cultivation. So Taoist meditation, it focuses on quieting the mind, harmonizing with the Tao, and cultivating qi, which is vital energy. Now, quieting the mind, dimming your thoughts, especially those that are most negative. Now, techniques include visualization, breath regulation, and inner alchemy, aimed at achieving spiritual enlightenment or immortality. Visualization of a better life where you are calmer and just in a better mental space, doing good on earth. Breath regulation to help you get a bit more intact with yourself. So next, rituals and offerings. So religious Taoism includes elaborate ceremonies conducted by Taoist priests to honor deity, spirits, or ancestors. Now, rituals may involve chanting, offerings, and symbolic actions to restore cosmic balance. Feng Shui and divination. So Taoism, it heavily influences Feng Shui. Now, I know a few of you have definitely heard this word before. And this is the art of harmonizing human environments with natural forces. Now, divination methods like I Ching are used to discern the will of the Tao in specific situations. Okay, so just to focus a bit more on Feng Shui. Now, the West has absolutely loved this concept. They've had a field day with it. Now, Feng Shui, in essence, is organizing your living space in the most harmonious manner to ensure not just workplace productivity, but also harmony within your mind. And that's the beauty of it. So center yourself this way, center your bed that way, and so on and so on. And this has gone to influence city planning, especially in the Far East. So very interesting concept that the West has absolutely loved and well popularized. And the West, well, unfortunately has to popularize things because, well, English. English is a way to get through to most in the world right now. So there are a lot of Eastern philosophies that have never really hit Western media, and unfortunately, we know less about it. Yeah, colonialism and all that. Okay, next, health practices. So practices like Qigong and Tai Chi and herbal medicine aim to balance the body's energy, promoting health as well as longevity. Sure, you've heard of Tai Chi as well. Similar to yoga, just body movements to balance the flow of your body to increase stretching, flexibility, and how this enhanced physical capacity could also improve your mind and promote health and better aging. So, deities and religious Taoism. So, philosophical Taoism is influenced by texts like the Tao Te Ching and is distinct from religious Taoism, which incorporates a pantheon of deities and spirits. And key figures include the Jade Emperor. This is the supreme ruler of the heavens. Laozi. This is revered as an immortal or a deity in some traditions. And we also have the 8 immortals. This is symbolic of figures that represents Taoist ideals, that represent Taoist ideals. So religious Taoism involves worship, temple rituals, bit of a tongue twister, and community practices, often blending with Chinese folk religion as well as Buddhism. So Taoism is very interesting in this sense, as though it's very versatile, it's formless, and can be blended in to other belief systems, such as Buddhism, which is practiced widely, especially in the Far East, and Chinese folk religion, which is more indigenous native beliefs. And Taoism is able to blend in and introduce new and exciting concepts from the faith, such as Feng Shui as well as Tai Chi. And this is so key themes in ethics, so harmony with nature. So I've emphasized this 3 times in this series already. So Taoism, it emphasizes living in accordance with nature's rhythms and avoiding artificial interference. Simplicity and humility. So Taoist ethics encourage humility, simplicity, and contentment over ambition and materialism. I absolutely love that. And it's almost as though this Taoist philosophy has been lost in, well, modernity in the Far East. We see in China, in South Korea, in Japan, they have really intense work policies. And this is all done for some level of material gain, to have a better position in society, to develop your socioeconomic situation so that you have some level of respect over your peers. Ambition is what has driven these capitalist systems. Materialism and capitalism go hand in hand. So you can see that in the modern world, Taoism struggles quite a bit to find its footing because, well, most, especially in these highly developed Western industrial nations, people are just so focused on having more, and more, better car, better house, better wife, better husband, better dog, whatever. And they just lose touch with themselves in the pursuit for more, in the pursuit for happiness, and pushing this ideal of the American dream. But Taoist ethics argues that humility and simplicity and just contentment with, simply being alive, for your five senses, for having a family, for having a job, is far better than this pursuit of, materialism. In terms of relativity and perspective, the Zhuangzi highlights the fluidity of truth, urging individuals to transcend narrow, human-centered perspectives. The fluidity of truth. I absolutely love that. In most major faiths, belief systems, religions, whatever it is, there are always sacred texts highlighting moral and ethical behavior, how one should conduct him or herself, and non-conflict. So this idea of peaceful resistance, satyagraha, that Gandhi practiced, or just simply peaceful civil disobedience that MLK pushed. So Taoism, it values peace above everything else and discourages force or aggression, aligning with the principle of wu wei, non-conflict, because, well, the consequences of violence are extremely high. It breaks people, it breaks nations, you lose time, it often costs money to go to war, and Taoism just goes completely against violence. Non-violence, non-conflict, always pushing peaceful solutions. So this is an age-old concept of peaceful resistance because, well, there really isn't ever a reason to fight because people should just be behaving ethically and conduct themselves in, well, a better manner. So influence on Chinese culture. So Taoism has profoundly shaped Chinese philosophy, medicine, martial arts, and arts like poetry and painting. And it coexists quite peacefully with Confucianism and Buddhism, forming the three teachings of Chinese tradition. So these are the big three faiths, okay? Confucianism coming from Confucius, Buddhism coming from the Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, and Taoism coming from Zhuangzi primarily, and it has had other influences too. Now, in terms of modern relevance, Taoism, it continues to be practiced in China, Taiwan, and among other diasporic communities worldwide, especially in the Chinese, Taiwanese diaspora. In the US and parts of Europe, we see it from time to time in Southeast Asia. And its emphasis on environmental harmony and mindfulness, it resonates globally, influencing modern spiritual movements, ecology, as well as holistic health. So this overall matter of being and ensuring that all our key areas in life, key aspects from family to health, to recreation, to education, to pleasure, to suffering, to ensure that all these key metrics in our lives are in balance, the yin and yang.